Hello, hello, hello. I apologize for the delay. Hello, hello, hello. I am here with some Jolly Rancher gummies. Because I wanted something a little sweet before I started stream today. And I'm glad I got my little pick-me-up. Let me make sure that all my chats are open. But welcome everybody to the stream. Hope everybody's doing a-okay. We're about to play some Ace Attorney. I chose the wrong scene. There we go. Now my avatar is there, looking all fine and cute. Last time I was here with my friend Angel, and we were honestly, the stream went a little off the rails in my memory of everything that happened. But I mean, is going off the rails really a bad thing? We were talking about shipping and all that, and I guess we were also talking about some incident or whatever, you know, some murders. Oh, you know, just girl things. And anywho, while I'm getting everything also configured, let me go on ahead and figure out what save is the correct one. Because I started making a lot of these saves because I wasn't sure where I needed to be. And my best guess is that it's this one. Oh, we are saving the game. Got it. But yeah, last time we played was 9/28, so I think it is as good a time as any to get started. Last time I don't remember what we were doing too much, so it might be in my best interest to go talk to Emma. Oh, okay, I remember. We were trying to figure out the SL-9 incident and get more information on that. Oh, this is the right spot to be. I thought, like, I was thinking like, oh my god, I've exhausted all my options, but I guess the criminal affairs department is where we gotta be. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. I know, right? With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is a word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Nah, this is looking extra evil. Who has an organ in their office? Who does this? What is this? Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was Oops. I never could remember where C was. Huh? Not the jump scare. Hey, Holly, how are you doing? Hope your day's going well. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gunt. He put the paper he was reading in his desk. So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't been. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? They look cute over there, but I still don't believe the chief. I think he's evil. I will continue to think he's evil until proven not. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it together to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with the vase. It's the vase, the vase, the vase. I know exactly. The chief participated in some way, shape, or form. There's no way. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office. It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has been long since over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. He's evil. He's evil. Also, welcome in, Dalton. I hope you're doing okay today. Alright, looks like we aren't welcome. Or tonight. Tonight, rather. It seems that this case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gunt denied our request to search the crime scene. That means that there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean, like, a clue? Alright, there's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Do I have anything of note that would help me with that? I don't think so. Like I said, I think this guy's evil. I will continue to say that until the end of time. Evil. Okay. Let's see if we can get back inside. I mean, the front door is as good as any, right? Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Alright, let's see what he can talk to us about. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they presented in court. Not only that, But as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around with Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talents rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. Oh, sorry. You know, to answer your question, Dalton, I have no idea. This is my first time playing through the game, and I think tomorrow should be, So tomorrow in game should be the last trial, which has been taking me about 2 hours on average. And we're still on the investigation segment before then. So I'm anticipating that I'm going to be wrapped up with this game by tomorrow. Yes, sir. Gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. So, there's more than one case, but it's all still sequential, like in timeline order. So, there's still one linear story, but there's 5 different cases that you'll have to solve. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. But I do want to point out, sorry, I'm having those Jolly Rancher gummies, and those gummies are hard to chew. There are multiple collections of Ace Attorney games. There's this Ace Attorney collection. I'll go ahead and show this real fast. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. But I also have the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is another set of effectively Ace Attorney titles, but they take place in a different era of time, so it ends up being a very safe entry of the game to go in. There's also 2 other collections of the game, but one of them is kind of like a sequel to this trilogy. And there's one that surrounds Edgeworth and being a prosecutor instead, to my understanding at least. So those games would probably require you to know at least a little bit about Edgeworth before jumping into it. So with that said, that's 4 sets of trilogies, so that's 12 games in total of like Ace. The one that I would probably recommend with starting with is probably the one that I'm playing right now, the Phoenix Wright trilogy. And then, or the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, since it's so disconnected. No, I lost the gummy! I'm blaming you for that. I lost the gummy. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Stark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall? He was trying to protect some girl. Me. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what is it? Oh, let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? Yeah, his memory's terrible. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Good idea, but in a second. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day, on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes. But it transformed him into an animal. So, I'm guessing he might have just had, like, a mental break, maybe, from killing somebody or being in that car accident? Like, something changed in his brain. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. And he killed a lady that witnessed the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then, oh my goodness. He killed like 4 people before turning himself in. Yeah, that's not okay. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. The crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. Does Gumshoe really not, like... We probably should have let him know that Emma was the last witness. But this should be the murder weapon, so let's show it to Gumshoe. Oh, speed. I meant to present. My bad. I forgot that you have to do it like this. There we go. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SL-9 incident on it. Did I put SL-9 in the title? Oh no, I put the SL-6 incident. It's supposed to be SL-9. Oh, I'm a fraud. Oh, I'm such a fraud. Hey, Magic, what's up? How are you doing? I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in the locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, suddenly this disappeared from his locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. I'm pretty tired myself, but that's what happens when I have a work day and a stream day put together. It is what it is. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it? Detective, quick, before you forget it again. This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had his fingerprints on him too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim. Neil Marshall was carrying it. Inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Drake's knife? I mean, I keep seeing Drake, but it's Dark. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet. Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Alright, we got his autopsy report. And we got an update on the knife. Sweet. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gantz. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his door is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe's our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Very good. Good question. Maybe the picture? Never mind. I'm actually not sure. That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yeah, there's one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 7777777. That's 17 too many, Detective. Executive officer. I just might have a hunch. Okay. So what can we show Gumshoe? What else we show on the Blue Badger panel? This guy almost made us lose the case today. Hey, what are you talking about? He was guarding that bloodstain on the evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers these days. It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well. All right. So what can I show him? Maybe I come back to this? What can convince him, I wonder? About that jar. I think I've seen it somewhere before. Somewhere. Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Where could I have seen it before? Can I show him the painting now? Because the jar's right there! I'm so mad. Alright, so something about Chief Justice. You're looking into the case for Edgeworth. Serial killer was on the loose. Forged evidence. So can't show him the picture. Alright, maybe we have to come back to him. Let's check, Okay, that's what I thought. I was supposed to say maybe Edgeworth is back. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? Huh. I've had to live the past few years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to attain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to. And nothing I can do to reverse that fact. But you didn't know, didn't you? I mean, my brain doesn't work. The evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department error is my error. My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my supervisors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? A list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. And I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture, something seems strange about it. So I'll show him the picture in a second. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that. Because you were awarded this. Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on a ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office. Yes, just odds and ends and clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to bring something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant actually hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was close to half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. Alright, that's the story we heard yesterday. So, you came back to the prosecutor's office between the chiefs asked you to. That's right. Alright, let's present him that picture. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. is a little different than yours. Yeah, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Alright. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard the story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed that could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. Then again, you've heard the story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these weapons discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. Ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. So did I. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief. Okay. More feedback on the trophy, I suppose. Oh. Okay. Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star! You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked at a cow's... what the... Huh? I don't want to reread that. Nor do I want to read that out loud. We'll just move past that. Still, I'd never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL-9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye? My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL-9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in the court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof that anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most with even so much as an explanation. Then, Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to become a prosecutor. Nothing quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as the pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. Damon Gaunt and Lana Skye. Gaunt led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gaunt's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he's handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him back then. No one dared confront him though. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yeah, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated everything crooked and always watched out for other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from the shock. That's what makes this all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gunn's powerful influence. Chief. That's right, having solved the SL-9 case, his B is for papas. His position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one else can stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If you could control the chief prosecutor, you can control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Really, she's not well liked. I think that at least the part that she's played so far has been actually very insightful. I think her lunch gimmick is kind of eh, but I mean that's okay. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her to change. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've ever been. Can I show her the picture? Okay. Alright, I'm guessing that the jar will probably just have to come up in the trial. What if I showed Lana the, picture? Oh, dang. Okay, she won't let me show her anything then. Okay. All right, back here we go, I guess. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. Huh? I'm not letting you in the chief's office. Period. It'd be my neck on the line. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. Is there anything we can show him? Maybe we can look at that. Oh, I have an idea. We need to head back to the chief prosecutor's office, though. Because I wonder if we could take that ground thing that Edgeworth had. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Yeah, exactly, Magic. I can understand where she was coming from. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. What? Letter of If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me died. But Mr. Edgeworth, nothing of this was your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. Alright, let's take his letter of resignation and, maybe Gumshoe will accept that. Alright, Gumshoe, listen. I need to get in there. What's this crumpled piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So, at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective. Thank you. We got it. Let's head back to the chief's office. This evil as heck office. What kind of non-villain has an organ? Here goes, Mr. Wright. Like, look at this. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's got her. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Oh my... Sorry. I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah! Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Hey, don't do that to my card. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now, come on. Let's see what we can find out. Alright, let's talk to him first. The desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's? Yes. That's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gaunt's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. He leaves it as a warning to anyone else. He wants us to be on high alert. He told us himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So, ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gaunt and the clean lady who's here every morning. Still, 2 years have passed since the incident. There possibly can't be any clues Nope, I wouldn't count on that. Hold on, guys. Let me cook. See? The area must have been covered in blood. Is this from the incident? It must be. When Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. 2 years have passed, so the reaction's kind of dull. I'm just trying to make sure that he didn't have any other blood, like, around. Alright. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL-9 crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think? Nah, you wouldn't be. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, then let's look around more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to stop bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go like that. Sorry. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gaunt might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gaunt. So, it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet. There you go, ignoring me again. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. So, it looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. The 7-digit code. 5842189. Let's try it. You know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? It's... Alright, so here's what I'm thinking the code is. Was it that? I wish it would have let 5842189. 5842189. It's either that or all sevens. I already forgot the number, by the way. 58. So 5842189. Okay. Okay, let's see. Five, 8, 4, 2, 1, 8, 9. Okay, so it's not his number. What other 7-digit numbers do we know? I'm thinking that it could either be Edgeworth's number or it could be all the sevens. Or when did this take place? Or we can wait a second. Oh, let's wait a second, actually. So fine at Gaudy's heck that he has that organ, by the way. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marsh took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Alright. So let's present the vase now. Now I know where I saw that before. It was right here. Here? You mean in the chief's office? Oh, sorry, Phoenix, you got a little deep there, didn't you? If I recall, I used to sit right on top of that shelf 2 years ago. I used to stare at it while being forced to listen to that organ. You would stare at it? I tried to use my telepathy to knock it over. Your telepathy? Hey, there it is! Right there in that picture, see? Oh yeah. Let's continue examining. All right. That's a real one. Not the taxpayer dollars. Not her saying that she won't pay her taxes. I'm drinking water. That's why I'm kind of skimming through this. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in the armor as we speak. I don't think he fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Let's examine the organ. All right, the organ. Playing from the criminals affair department. not listening to the organ for several hours. Never listen to anyone anyway. I swear, Gumshoe. Crash through it and jump outside. This is a 15-4. Gumshoe, are you okay? Okay. There's a lot of examinable spots here. Oh yeah, the house cleaner. Okay, let's look through the court record and see what other numbers I could like mess with. I'm thinking it might also be just the 777 number. Okay, let's give the 777 number a go. Could you imagine this was it? I hate it here. Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was it, pal? It was just the final ID card number. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 777-7777? That ID number? I think you're 1-7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Yes, sir. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from the broken cup. All right, there's something else in here too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. It's a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing that shirt like that once. You think Chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it's just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Alright. So, first things first, we can show him the other vase. Detective Gumshoe, can you take another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put it back together. Ah, those were the days. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had SL-9 sticker on it. Doesn't that ring any bells? You know, the fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. See if it fits. All right, let's go on ahead and show them what we can do. Oh, I have to rotate it. There we go. Look at that. There, it fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL-9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? That piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gaunt hide this in the safe? Okay, what else can we present to him? It's a small piece of leather. Okay. Oh, we can do some, take some fingerprints. I see how you hand like that. Take my fingerprints. Oh, it's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. Talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. Well, the handprint on it, Wright. Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? All right, let's get it. All right, let's check for prints. All right, y'all already know how I'm about to do this. We're just gonna, you know, powder up the base. You know, get like a nice powdery vibe going. You know, honestly, they should throw me into beauty YouTube. I bet you I would do wonders there. All right. All right, let's try a different finger. I think the middle finger might actually give us a better result. But now look at this. We're just applying blush at this point. Like, is it blush that you apply? There we go. We just need to apply some at the bottom. All right. Hold on, I need to get better at mashing the A button, so that way we can really get that all cleaned up. Oh, it's hers. Interesting. No, how could this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match. Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing up inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from her from now. Here, you should hold on to this. Alright, is there anything left for us to examine? Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier. Oh, it's you two. Oh, the paper! I wonder what he was reading. Oh, this looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case's name. The SL-9 incident. Wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about evidence lists. Normally, they're twice as long. That's right. Guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-size list of evidence. Alright, he has a list of evidence there too. Most lists run twice as long. Okay, I get it. What will the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case. Would appear so. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Oh, Chief Gantz! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way out too then. Wait. You, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You, with the spiky hair. You're free to go. Mr. Wright! Oh, that's concerning. Look, pal, I told you 1,000 times. Chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go in there sneaking like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. All right. Anyway, you listen to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She thought the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you've convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Alright, let's get the rest of the story from her. Alright, let's see what she'll tell me. Alright, I have to admit, I was a little more than perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell me the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly frightened of. What is this person's name? Well, Miss Skye? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? Well, we were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gantz? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could possibly have tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also another, Damon Gantz. If you intend to accuse Chief Gantz, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gantz falsified evidence in that case. I just found this in the safe of the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. You know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL-9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gantz himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I can't disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, you can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Mr. Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected, despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this knife was stuck in it. Okay, that's what I thought. I don't think I ever explicitly had stated that, but I was like, it would make more sense that that knife was there, but I feel like the blood would have been fresh. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. So that would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he's already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your hand. Yes. Seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. A star, huh? Why did you need to hide the Dark's knife so badly? They're cooking! It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be open again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. The word got out, which it would. The reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and you hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister. Tell her what happened and to ask her to hide my knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma. I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. Marshall? Why would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL-9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden and I needed help. He was the only person that I could trust, or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He'd already stolen the ID card, but it seems he hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he must have disappeared. So, your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But, Lana, you earn my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now, please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. All right, tomorrow's trial. I gotta get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Okay, but the chief's kind of ripped. So that'll be my hear me out. But I knew that he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs the moment, the literal moment. All right, February 25th. Last trial time, everybody. This is the defendant lobby, all right, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning, but where could she be? And where's Emma for all that matters? Except something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth. Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 77777 ID card number that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there is still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If the number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True. Not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it. I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL-9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright. This is it. All right, it's time for us to find out what Chief Gant has on her. I think it's very possible that that threatened, you know, that she threatened Emma's life. It's kind of hard to say like right this second, but that is my initial suspicion. Is that poor Emma's life has been threatened, and we're just gonna have to kind of figure that one out. All right, court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Defense is ready. Prosecution is ready. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. All right, Chief, let's hear you out. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Edgy. Been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, what exactly is this proposal of yours? Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like for you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman. in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim doesn't change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But, Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. Prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like for you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has a right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed. It appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. Oh, this can't be happening. It appears the time for a verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth? Prosecution has not proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. A ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, Oh, Edgeworth MVP. Huh. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gaunt. What? Create another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me that some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. Huh. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gaunt? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take to the stand. All right. I was expecting Edgeworth to step in like that. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark Killers. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. All right, let's get this going. Charles, let's learn the truth. I feel so bad that we have to testify against her. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That'll soon become apparent, Your Honor. Very well. Defense may begin its cross-examination. Two years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes. She was second in to command under the then Deputy Chief of Police, Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Guy used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I always sat at my sister's desk and dreamed about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished some work. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on that day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon feeling the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran to Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look, and that's when I saw him. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Dark's questioning, Deputy Chief and Prosecutor. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room right after the ceremony. I assumed that would be also why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't remember clearly what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Drake, and just then the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and the lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. But wait a minute. If it's dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right. But just then, lightning flashed outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. Well, Miss Wright, have you heard of No? This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if you added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. You drew the picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Yes. I wanted to do everything I could to help I almost said help investigate the investigation. I can still see it now whenever I close my eyes. That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken? But I did draw it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it. Alright. Well, anyway, let's continue. That scene that you had imprinted an image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us? The man. Yep. That must have been a real shock. Even now when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly. Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage. When the lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. I was thrown aside and the two began wrestling each other. Huh. I'm pretty sure I was watching them. Okay. Let's see if we have that picture. Actually, before I do that, let me save. Oh, I didn't mean to press her. My bad. Okay. Oh! Pictures drawn on the back of this marker and magic marker. I didn't actually examine it until a second ago. That was actually the biggest accident ever. I just want to see the list of names. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence. What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold. This is the evidence list for the SL-9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Ah, what's this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? Well, what are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from one another. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You see the marks here. They were torn apart from each other. To see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what had happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. I would have said what, but I was definitely drinking water. Order, order. But Miss Skye, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor. Are you all right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Edgeworth's list. Huh. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Huh? Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. Oh no, not this cursed theme song. Not the Blue Badger. That thing. The thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. Oh, so it's a horizontal list. Got it. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Oh, yes, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She used to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. Defense may now begin its cross-examination. All right, what are we working with? Did you draw the picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Skye. I would have been so bad if her name was actually like Lana. Her name is Lana. 2 or 3 days later, memory should still be fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted in all black? So, at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. What happened after the lightning flashed? You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. Flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture... Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact same. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives. Are you insisting we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh, well, that's strange. She claims this is exactly how the scene transpired in her mind. And yet, there's so clearly a contradiction here. Okay, I thought so. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out the contradiction for us. Contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man's holding. If you look closely, you can see the tip's broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. The murder weapon, too, its tip was broken. If I recall, the broken tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. Alright. Conclusive evidence for Joe Dark's murder. I'm afraid it's not that simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, the murder weapon should not have been broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't have possibly wound up there. That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. But I believe you were annoyed at the time. But she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, Wright. All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. Can't deny the possibility. No! Ah! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place on the day of the murder. Alright. Before we go over this quick recap, I'm going to step away just really fast, okay? Just need to grab something real quick. Y'all, I need some sweats. I swear. I am not cozy right now. This is not cozy gaming vibes. This is... Oh, why did the bot ban the... Oh? Oh, got it. We love instant spam ban. We love to see it. All right, police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony. That day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gantz. During this questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It's my belief that somewhere in this story there's a lie. Huh. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? No. Broken knives just don't grow on trees. There's no way there's another one. Oh, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, I believe the witness must be mistaken. I knew it. You really don't believe me. Alright. If the witness is adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some other information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. Alright, take a look at this. This is the actual murder weapon. Da 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 da. If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh? I'm sure this all must have been very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. Oh. Was it not the vase? I could have sworn. What else is sharp? I was... Now, hypothetically, all right, before I try to cook too hard, let me save so that way I can at least like load back up my lives. Cause yeah, I was convinced that it was the base. Cause there's blood traces on it. So what do you mean, game? All right, let's go ahead and reload. I'm trying to think. So... I'm honestly not sure. Let's You see, I was like convinced that it was supposed to be the unstable jar. So, let's see. The screwdriver? I'm having a hard time thinking about what could be like perceived as a weapon, you know? Okay, so I've already tried that. Oh! It's a trophy. It's probably the halberd part. Every time. I don't get it. Kind of running out of things that, like, I could actually consider a weapon, you know? I'm not sure what else I could throw in as an option at this point. Okay. So what are we missing? Okay. Maybe show the picture? All right, there we go. So I was right with it being the halberd. I just need to show that the halberd existed. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right there inside this picture. This is the picture of the awards ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award prosecutor Marshall's holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was all in likelihood from this award. I haven't been saying order. Neil Marshall was awarded that King of Prosecutors that day. As a reward, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors award knife was the murder weapon, then the murder and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, the man raising a knife would have to have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh? But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. It seems Mr. Wright was a bit eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time, I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to your testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Scott? Yes, Your Honor. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed to the both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't exist even 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop! Please! Don't pursue this any further. Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dart. Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? All I can really see were shadows. Power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor office's reports. So then you... Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He's about to stab Mr. Marshall. All right, but as we just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that dark guy knocked me down, all I could think of is that I gotta help the other person. What do you mean, you think? It all happened so fast and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did was all kind of a blur. Miss Sky was almost killed before she was a witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is natural. I saw a man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. All right, what did you do? What you did do was very brave, little girl. So then what happened next? Just then, there was another flash of lightning. That's when I saw the blue badger. Oh, whoops, I was supposed to push that. Are you sure about this? Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here. But... it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I had seen him somewhere before. Now I finally remember. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? His shadow? Do you mean you didn't actually see his face with the winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had those 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be... that may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, I suppose you have an explanation. If so, by all means tell me what the shadow really was. Yeah, I think it might be the vase. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. In this room, very well, Mr. Wright. What is the item that you saw? The mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this. But that's... What exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. It doesn't as it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Like this maybe, and then like this maybe? Okay. Don't mind me trying to learn how to imitate this. Would it look like this maybe? Okay, so how are we supposed to get it to look like the other thing then? I'm sitting here like... Okay. All right, I'm like lost in the sense that I know what I need to do, but why am I struggling with like setting up the space right? I'm just trying to get those side thingies correct. Oh, it looks like this. Although I don't know if I did that right. Okay. Okay, come on, game. Oh, I'm just... Wait, what do you mean? The game's telling me that this is not close enough? I wish we could zoom in and zoom out. I feel like that would help a lot, actually. Okay. Oh, I need to take a sip of water and see if that little swig can wake me up a little bit. I think something like that would make sense. I'm fighting for my life with this and I'm so upset. Also, I think I'm going slightly insane. But like slightly insane in the sense that, okay, okay. See, this feels like a solid option. I'm glad that you are enjoying my suffering of just rotating a flippin' vase. What? Because you'd think that naturally something like this will do. But I know I've done this one like 6 times, it feels like, but maybe the angle was just wrong. There should be like a, if you fail this like too many times, that you just get like the game just gives it to you. So none of the ways that I've tried have worked so far. Because, okay, base comes in like this. Like, what am I missing? That's the thing that's kind of concerning me right now. Because obviously perspective is a thing. Yeah. Unless I'm supposed to do something with the lines on them. Yeah, I presented that side like 10 times because I don't know how else to like position it. All right, Magic. I'm taking any suggestions. Obviously, I've rotated this every which way, so I know that I probably had the award-winning shot of it before. But the ideas are running lower. So because okay. I'll get back to where I just was for a second. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Something like that, maybe? Yeah, because yeah, you're on the right track, I think. The thinner part's supposed to be like that point. Like straight on? Because yeah, but you keep it going straight, then the force perspective is gonna be a little bit off. I wonder. Oh, this. So, you know, as much as I like exercise the fact that I have a computer science degree, my brain is just not processing the bilateral aspect of it, but I think, I mean, trying not to move it too much. Well, I'm like trying to visualize the straight line for the sides. I'm not. You know, you bring up a good idea, so 1 second, I also just double checking something because I saw my bit rate drop a little bit. So, let's see. Okay, so God. I think my brain just took a screenshot just from just going insane for a second. So see, I was thinking it was originally something like this. Then you don't have that top dot part. I think I'm kind of over it. So if you're wondering, that is the angle, and you were right basically. It's like not perfect, but I tapped out. I looked it up. I tapped out. I hate being stuck like that where like it wasn't like funny, it was just got more frustrating. So I tapped out. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one could possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. No, it can't be. Order, order. The defense has proven its claim. The serious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Yeah, I'm sorry, Magic. One of those things is that not only did it, one of the most universal complaints as well was that everyone was very upset with that puzzle. It's okay. We can live. I can look up one puzzle. It's fine. Although we enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed? Very well then, tell us. What's different, now we know, that the witness saw this jar. Let me take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At the very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? In case no jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on the shelf of Damon Gantz. But the body was found near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it was those two facts that revealed what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gantz's office. Are you implying that the murder moved the victim's body from Damon Gantz's office to Lana Sky's? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there's no reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. I finally figured it out. This is why Law tried to stop the trial. Too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have had to have been the impact of the man when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, I may draw your attention to the picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would have been hit? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked to the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to been Neil Marshall, wielding the Knight of Prosecutor's trophy. No. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there's another possibility of what transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea nevertheless. I don't know if we could go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events take place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man that Emma Skye had knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall, you mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! I can't go that high. I never imagined her testimony would have led to this. So was the witness who took the victim's life and proved so with their own testimony. This is unprecedented. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the kind of crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else finding out what Emma did, wasn't it? I assured you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? Also, welcome to the stream, Hayden. Hope you're doing all right. I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes. I'm sure it would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. All right. Huh. Touche, Miss Skye. Of course, that leaves us with only one possibility. What do you mean, Mr. Her? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of a person who took his life, and in one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. Message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? Real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. I'm trying to think of what I would... Oh, it's the clock. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister's a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek, the truth, no matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the dead. This is the message from the deceased. Right. Now then, this is the message from... Oh. I guess that... Man. I really threw that in with some confidence. Oh, that's so awkward. I threw that down with so much confidence. So if it's in writing, who would have had it in writing? I feel... Okay, let's back up. Let's take a step back and go back. We'd always look at some of the stuff that we have too, so that's why I'm like taking a look at some of the different things. Wait, is it on the jar? Okay, I was supposed to say, yeah, the jar, because the jar, I think they mentioned that it had like line strokes on it. I was like, was that supposed to be writing? This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he just gonna speak the killer's name? That thing could, I'm sure it would. It's like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of the jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood from this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments were not. Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood. What you're saying is that these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used a few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away, but blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect the dots, and the victim's message will become apparent. No! Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe the bloodstains will reveal his answer. Okay. So, yep. Oh. It's his defense attorneys to prove their innocence. That's why I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So, this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Did Emma pass out, by the way? Of all people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. I don't even know what to say to that. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Guns, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in this case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer, that's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Oh, he's driving me crazy. Despite what any may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They may have sent an innocent man to his... Is everyone just going to undermine his previous murders? Is everyone just going to not consider that? We're just going to ignore that, huh? Okay. That's crazy. All right. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where the trial is headed, no one knows. Now, naturally, this would be a good end point for the stream, but I think we can go on for at least another section. But let's just put two and two together. Let's keep going. It's probably another hour. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And on top of that, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands. Oh, sorry. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, the advocacy give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? You must know there are two rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. I got tired of reading flashbacks. Chief Prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning on taking him on, you're going to need this book. Him. Alright, let's give this book a read. Eventually. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the Chief Prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, Detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat. Despite all the allegations being thrown at me, Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you're unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwillingly caused the man's death. Now you're telling me you want to do more? Gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into a dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Court will now be reconvened for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecutor calls up another witness. I had to ad-lib that. I was not reading that correctly. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there's some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witness. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. The solution? That being the case, prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all future further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It will prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it is settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is good as over. The defense calls... You guys already know. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he still should be in the courthouse. He would also have been the least likely to be manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. All righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL-9 incident. Oh, you mean the last time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. Chief Police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries some risk. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him at that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying unconscious on the floor. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. Alright, Let's press him for everything we got. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yep, that's right. I guess you can say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in that room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. So the two of you immediately ran after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went through his heart though. Gant is a little morbid, but whatever. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying on a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those poor two girls. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because the victim's body had already been moved. So that means he found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think he said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Alright. Alright, how can I link him to the incident? I think I want to show the evidence list, but I want to save first, just so that way. Yeah, I think that's what I want to show. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list for example. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of the jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. You see, Chief Gant? These articles of evidence were uncovered in your office. Are both concrete proof that you played a part in this illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who might even rival Worthy. So you admit it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding the pieces of evidence you found in your office and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see, was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participate in the forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh, indeed. I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today as well, you know. All right, Udgy. In return? I know. That Huh? Are these two shagging? Are those two enjoying themselves? I'd appreciate it if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? You know, back in my day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. But Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? You have the proof of the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Rito's prints were found. Yes. If they are found inside my safe, they would prove this investigation wasn't legal. Urgh. Maybe I can prove a when. Well, let's not worry about that just quite yet. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at the crime scene is a forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Rito. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after dark, they was convicted, then they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. Chief is talking about a possibility, so as long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Come now, Rito. Think about it. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. How can you look at me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's untimely demise is Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would be, of course, the position you have. Chief of Police. Oh, the resolution of the SL-9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL-9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There. It's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl? Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime, tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho ho ho. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Sure, you might have not helped out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to betray the chief. As a knife man who likes to lend people a hand. Very well then. Who is the person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? That's easy. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye? The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL-9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all this? He'd be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh wait, he must mean puppet. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite the imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless, that is also what happened in the incident. This incident, which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bryce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. It's almost as if someone's been controlling her. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order, order, order. I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the Chief of Police of blackmail and murder? It's impossible. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edwards said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief of high-ranking officer of law is involved in this murder? Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. Question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. All right then, let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us evidence that connects the two together. So we know that the vase was used to tell... God, now I can just see Emma. That's so depressing. This is the ID card list. Yes, The one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There's one ID on the list that we couldn't determine of the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. Well, what? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gaunt's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits. You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright will be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met with the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Just the proof that the victim went to Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Ooh, this is a good question. Let me think about this. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. You would have had to have given that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took out the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe something like that happened. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! That was a sprite. Did y'all see that? He was going. I'm saying Ace Attorney prisons are built different. Like, what is going on in them? The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. Everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. So you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. All right, let's see it. How could the chief move the body? Mr. Wright, show us the evidence. To move the victim's body, he used this. Well, I see. Maybe I'll use this later to move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Huh? Oh. And I'll help you just, oh. I thought it was the gloves. Okay. You know, sometimes some of these rejection lines, like the audio stops and I'm like, oh, I got it right. Only realize like, all right, y'all, let me cook for a second. Or maybe I'm bad at this. So Magic, the sad thing is that I'm not like fully guessing. Like, I am imagining scenarios in my head that like would make everything work out. So I didn't fully guess. I do think like some of the times I enter stuff that I do think like would work. Okay. So let's see. This is so much evidence, by the way. That's why I'm like taking a second. Cause yeah, the only other thing that I could kind of like So yeah, wait, how did he get the body? Because if they were in their respective spots the full time, but you had to move the body into Edgeworth's trunk. Or did Lana do that? You know, well, I'm gonna think about it, but I also need to pee like so bad. So give me like 2 seconds. And I hopefully just stop running into random things. Okay, so I've returned. So let's see. Obviously, he couldn't have stuffed. So I'll kind of go over my thoughts on each piece of evidence. So this doesn't apply. I don't think Goodman's ID applies here. The trophy doesn't apply. Edgeworth's knife doesn't apply. The parking sub I had thought about at first, but that's at 5:12 p.m. And we know based off of the ID card that Edgeworth showed up at 4:40. So maybe he called Edgeworth with the screwdriver, which gave him time while Edgeworth was in there to put it in this trunk. That would be the only kind of educated guess that I'm... Oh, this is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? Okay, Magic, you know what? Maybe I should use my brain a little bit more. Maybe that like split second I took to pee, like that activated the neurons. But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is the screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Oh! I was asked to go by Chief Gaunt, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gaunt asked you to do it. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. So Edgeworth unknowingly transferred a dead body from point A to point B. That's diabolical. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have Mr. Edgeworth to transfer evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. Transfer the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusation? Hey, William, what's up? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gaunt, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman? That's what you're saying, right? But if you have any conclusive evidence, you would have had presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. Alright. He's the current chief of police. He's trying to use his cheat codes. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gaunt murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body. Alright. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence. Alright. So, better proof without a doubt. So, if I were to use something so the parking stub was an option that I'm thinking about. The knife is also what I'm thinking about. The only reason I was thinking about the knife was because she stabbed him with this knife after the fact. So this knife would still actually be up on the table, I guess. So I'm going to start with this knife. Alright, it's proof. As to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt, I'll let you be the judge. But I am the judge. Alright. Well, what do you think, Your Honor? Alright. Nope. Okay. Next attempt. Unless... What happens if we actually have no proof yet? Your Honor, I have no conclusive evidence. Huh. See, Judgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. Seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy, I'll leave the rest to you. I was curious about the what if. I was very curious about the what if. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. Oh. Okay, Edgeworth. Lady Luck, huh? Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't had the honor of hearing her testimony. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. Chief Gaunt has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Huh? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Haven't you forgotten? Defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? All right, Your Honor. Defense calls first. Defendant? Miss Lana Skye? All right, hold on. I need to save right here because we really need to make sure that I have save points because I can only get something wrong twice. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. The court is now in Hold on! Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right then, I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay, if there are any other further objections, this court's now in recess. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That Chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Ha, ha, ha. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not a right to casually be invoked. There are certain risks to being considered. Risks? What does he mean by that? It's simple. If the Chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his rights to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. Oh, what do you mean? What do you think? I mean, to follow Chief Gant's orders, she must have shut herself up deep inside. Forced herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. You want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, better go back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. It's so cool how, like, they're working together. Like, I love this. I truly do love it. All right, we made it all the way down to 10. All right. Time for the next one. All right, double save. We have our insurance. These finale streams always have me like extra playing. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But, Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us your relationship with Chief Gats. Alright. Let's see what we're doing. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found the Prosecutor Marshal's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Huh. Are you sure about the testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. Lana, if this is true, then that means Chief Gant had nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Alright. Dang. She said she's talking a little too stiff. She lying. She lying. Alright. Let's press her for more info. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see. I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. Damon Gant was a respectable detective, that's why. But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? A testimony you cannot present in court is useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with the knife. And... Alright. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was a justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So that's why you fabricated evidence 2 years ago. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. Broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took away the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh. That was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. All just to protect me. When you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's back, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You always had a good head on your shoulders. But why'd you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness testimony. Reason Miss Sky fabricated the knife. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall broken knife would have been the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted was by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So he buried it inside the victim's stab wound. Yes. Besides, I hated Dark for all that he did. So, you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. Nothing I could do to make up for my actions. Okay, I believe this is true. I don't believe this is true. I think I know what I want to present. So I'll be honest with you guys, I had like a little sleepy moment, and I was like, ooh, I had a good yawn, but that yawn made me like completely forget what I was going to submit as evidence to this. Maybe the cloth? Hmm. I realize that you guys might be able to hear me pressing A on my controller. Golly. I mean, I guess the ID list would have probably contradict the evidence, but all well. I'm gonna speed through this real quick just to get us back up to where we were. Okay, and then after that we just gotta press everything and we are back to exactly where we need to be. Okay. Take a swig of my water and then I should be a little bit more attentive, more awake, more mindful. Okay, so what direction do I want to go with this? That is the question that I ultimately need to answer. When he showed up on scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where he deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why'd you move it there? Alright. The reason you moved the body. Piece of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Piece of the jar? You mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show us that Dark committed the crime, I felt like it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already, of course, it had already been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would have been clear right away what happened. And Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar was shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. Okay. Can I do something contradictory here? I don't think I can. You know, like, her testimony, I guess, would sound rock solid. I'm trying to see, like, okay, based off of what we know, that doesn't make sense. And that's kind of harder than I thought. At least trying to read over all the evidence that I have now. Actually, let me testify this, because I want to make sure that we also ask her the why plant the knife. Wonder what I would present here to show that this was actually a blackmail. Because yeah, something that I always think about is like, okay, if there was a contradiction here, that means contradiction is that it was actually a blackmail moment. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. Didn't mean to. Okay, so why is that not evidence? I feel like this would show off and like wait, and the list doesn't work either? Well, I'm confused then. Because both of those showed like there was like a level collaboration between the two. Because the list would have shown that that he had like hid stuff away. I could believe her doing that. Yeah, I'm not sure which one was the contradictory one that they want me to use here. Okay. You know, I was gonna actually try really hard to finish the game today, but I also think I am running out of steam at a rapidly fast rate, to the point where I'm just kind of making random guesses without having too much thought to them. I think it might be in my better interest just to go on ahead and we can do the finale of this / finish this tomorrow. Because yeah, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm just like haphazardly making guesses, and I'm not, like I say I'm thinking, but I don't think I'm fully like there. So I think it might be in my best interest to stop. What we'll do next time is that we're just gonna start not from this point, but from like right at the beginning of like calling Lana in. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap things up today. We can take one more day to finish it. It is not a big deal. So thank you guys all very much for watching today. Next time we play, we are going to probably finish the game in that stream, so hope you guys are excited. Anyway, I'll go on ahead and I'll just see you guys in the next one, okay? You guys have a fantastic night.